Hey guys, Victoria Haffer here of Canine Empowerment. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the basics and just show you how I work with my boy, Thor. You can see him in the background over here. He's a good boy. He's my Thor, the pup of thunder. He's my rescue pup. I often say I don't know who rescued who more so. Here he is, right on time, coming to see you guys. He can be a little camera shy sometimes. We rescued him from Providence Animal Rescue League about a year and a half ago, right before we moved here to Durham, North Carolina. And he was probably about 6 years old, and he was not crate trained, nor house trained, or anything trained. So he's been a great little pup for me, and he also definitely has some nervous tendencies. And we worked a lot on boosting his self-esteem and confidence, and so he can hang around with the big dogs as well. So a couple of things that you definitely, really the foundation of working with your pup, whether it be yours or if you're a new dog trainer, is to really build a foundation of trust with the dog, and that your dog begins to know truly that you are an advocate for that dog and you have your dog's back no matter what. So that's really important. So that's really the first thing that I like to do when I work with clients and their dogs, is building a relationship, right? Just like in anything else, in any kind of business, the best way to really to be successful in life and in business is to build a relationship with your people as well as your dogs. So that's really important, so that they get to know, like, and trust you. So that's the first thing, just kind of building some rapport with the pup. A big thing that I do is when I go in, I let them come to me on their terms, and no touch, no talk, no eye contact, and just see how that works out. And then I typically will work on a lot of positive reinforcement with a high value treat, reward, and just to get them to come to me on their terms initially, and then we can allow for the training to begin. So a couple of things that you would want is a dog. And you really want to find out what motivates dogs. So all dogs are motivated by something. And so if you're familiar with the golden formula for dog training, it's basically mark, reward, and release. So the mark is the marker that basically communicates to your dog that what they just did was exactly what you wanted them to do. So it could be a sound, a click, if you're familiar with using a clicker, or a specific word, a consistent word that you and your entire family use on a regular basis. With Thor, we use yes. So that tells him that, yes, you did what we wanted you to do, and then he knows that is paired with a reward. So your typical rewards, food, but if you may have a dog that's not super food motivated. Other rewards can be things like greeting people, greeting other dogs, letting them into the backyard, letting them out the front door for a walk, playing with toys, as well as some dogs can be very, very highly motivated by praise and physical affection. So mark, yes, or click, and then reward immediately. Typically dogs have a very short attention span and understanding span, that you have literally 1 to 2 seconds to create the relationship between the marker and the reward, so that you can create that the operant conditioning that lets them know that, yes, this is a good thing, and I should probably do this again in order to get whatever it is that I want. So the first thing is you want to find out what motivates your dog the most as far as the food situation. So sometimes you have to play around. All the pet stores that I know of, even the big box and the more of the health, natural food pet stores, will always allow for you to return food or treats that your dog didn't eat. So, you know, I suggest that you just go out and try. You really want to find something that your dog will go absolutely nuts for, go crazy for. Some of the common things are bacon, dehydrated meats. So chicken liver is another really common one. Venison I know is at the top of the list. And even just cooked chicken, you know, nothing seasoned, just plain chicken cooked. So again, play around with that. Every dog is different. So we have some treats here. The other thing is you want to make sure that your dog is hungry. So the best time to do training with your dog is typically before meals. That's a really great time, or if you know that they definitely haven't eaten for a while, because a motivated dog, a hungry dog is a motivated dog for sure. So the brand that we use, and I definitely change it up with a lot of different things, but it's Plato, Plato, and duck and or salmon are Thor's too. As you can see, he's already paying attention to me. I don't use him for training videos a lot because he's so well trained. He's so good at this point. We've just trained him to be a healthy, happy dog, and the commands that we've taught him are all around safety, wait and stay, and things like that for him. So as you can see, he's already got his attention on me, or I should say on the treat, and you know, work with eye contact as long as you have a fairly confident dog. If you are working with a dog that tends to be a little more nervous or skittish, then I wouldn't just step away from the eye contact part for now. So just to kind of get their attention, you can bring the treat to their nose and they see, oh, okay, now it's time to work. It's working time. Thor's been kind of lounging around a little bit, so up. Oh, really? Come on, Thor. Up you go. Up you go. Good. Yes. Good boy. So as soon as your dog does what you want them to do, sit, stay, wait, all of that good stuff, and then they make eye contact with you, immediately you give your marker and then you reward them. Up. Yes. So notice he had his paw up for a moment there. That's a different command. So I waited until his paw, and as soon as that paw, all fours were touching the ground, then I marked it, that behavior, and rewarded that behavior. So giving the treats, I often recommend, especially a lot of my clients will have kids and, you know, small children, and there's two ways that you can give a treat. So when you give a treat this way, and then you have them take it, yes, out of your mouth that way, they have to use their teeth to do that. So I typically recommend in giving the treat that you use a palm face up, open palm, and put it in your hand. That's gonna force your pup to use their tongue. And it's a little bit more gentle approach there. Up. Yes. So mark, reward, release. We're not gonna do release right now just because we're sitting here, and so mark, yes, reward, treat, and then you basically break that, because now he knows if he just sits there and looks at me super cute that he's going to get treats. So we want to kind of break that flow and start again. So then you would have him get up, and you could, if you have a not so compliant pup, you may want to have a leash on. When I work with new clients, I always work with a leash in the house. So you could leash him up and then just say, okay, and that's you want to have a release word, a consistent release word. You could be all done or okay, and the whole family uses it, and then you just kind of do a little circle around with your dog, and then you come back to place and then begin the training again. Up, up. Yes, good. Down. Nice. Yes. Boy, see if I can get to a different little bit of an angle so you can see 4 a little better. So come on around, come on around. Good. Up. Yes. Stay. Up. Up. Oh, good boy. And when you're first starting to play with your pup, you can just kind of play around and see what kind of movements that they may be doing, and just kind of work on capturing those movements. And you can name them later. So really, when you're initially teaching your dog new commands, you really want to just kind of play around and see what kind of behaviors that they'll do on their own, because it's actually way quicker to teach them if you capture the behavior that you didn't ask for, and then reward just for different things. And you can name it later once they kind of get the movement here. So down. Yes. Good boy. Good. Up. Yes. And we're going to finish off with our grand finale of high fives. High fives. High fives. Good boy. So Thor and I want to thank you for hanging out with us today, and we hope you enjoyed watching.